Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all doing? I hope all of you are doing fine and doing okay. My name is Nazih Al-Uthmani. I'm an assistant professor of biomedical engineering at King Abdulaziz University in Jeddah. I'm also the vice executive president for medical devices sector at the Saudi Food and Drug Authority. I'm also a board member in the Saudi Scientific Society for Biomedical Engineering. It's a pleasure to be here, unfortunately not physically, at the American University of Sharja Biomedical Engineering Day. I was looking forward to being there. Unfortunately, to work-related issues, I had to cancel my trip and just send a videotape of the presentation. I hope that the presentation works well, and I thank all the organizers, Dr. Hassan and the Biomedical Society, and the IEEE Engineering and Medicine Biology Society, and the University of Sharjah for allowing me and giving me this opportunity to talk to you about this topic, which is design and regulations for medical devices. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please find me on Twitter at NOTHMANY, Uthmani, or my blog aluthmani.me. If you Google Nazih Al-Uthmani, you will find me. And by the way, my blog has a lot of several blogs on biomedical engineering in general, and I try to constantly post whenever I have time topics related to this field. In this presentation, I will give a brief overview on what biomedical engineering is, and then we'll discuss the reason for having the medical device regulations, and then I will also cover some standards for medical devices, and finally I'll give you an overview on what we do at the Saudi FDA medical devices sector in Saudi Arabia. The idea, as you can see, is that to give you a comprehensive overview on the career for biomedical engineers and how they could advance themselves or prepare themselves to be part of the regulatory affairs track, because I think the regulatory affairs track is one of the things we usually don't cover much in our curriculums, and it's important for biomed engineers to become aware of before they graduate. What is biomedical engineering? Biomedical engineers work at the intersection of engineering, the life science, and healthcare. What do? They take principles from applied sciences, including mechanical, electrical, chemical, computer, physical science like physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, and apply all these principles to provide solutions in the area of biology and medicine. This is what biomedical engineers do in life. The idea is to have a better understanding of what's going on in the human body, replace or fix a target system like a human body system or functions, or improve the quality of healthcare. Who says who? This is the definition of biomedical engineering given by the Engineering in Medicine and Biology Society in the United States. I thought I should mention this definition since we are at an event organized by their chapter in University of Sharjah. So basically, it's a multidisciplinary field that uses principles of engineering, sciences, healthcare. They all are combined together, and you get something called biomedical engineering. So we apply technology principles in designing systems, processes that help in diagnosing, treating, and replacing body functions, as well as help and assist in the health industry. Okay, now this is something that I'm sure many of you may have seen before. This is the medical technology life cycle. What's the life cycle of a device? You know the water cycle, you know the so many cycles are there. What's a medical device cycle? So the medical device cycle begins with the research and development phase, in which a physician, a doctor, a patient, or an engineer or someone comes up with an idea and proposes that this idea will help a patient or will help a medical process in enhancing and becoming better. So they identify the need, they design a system to address that need, and then they develop a prototype, and they do clinical trials on that prototype. If the prototype works and the clinical trials are fine, they do the final design, and once they get into the final design, they go into the process of regulatory bodies approval. This process will be outlined here in this presentation intensively. Once they get the regulatory body approval, they commercialize and commission the device in the market, and once that's done, we go into the hospital clinic operation. In the hospital clinic operation, the device enters into the hospital through the purchasing department, and then the device is received and tested to ensure that it works fine, and then the biomeds manage this device through they train the users, they do preventive maintenance, they do corrective maintenance, and once the device is out of service, they discard it in according to standards. Hopefully they don't just throw it in the dumpster, and then they get involved in strategic planning for replacing and identifying the needs. They interact with other IT, quality, hospital administration to help in planning the needs of equipment for the hospital, and they identify the needs, and then they put specifications for the devices they would like to purchase, and then they issue a public tender. A procurement process starts. Once the procurement process starts and a vendor is assigned, again it goes to the purchasing department that purchases the device, and the life goes on within the hospital in general. So this is the life cycle of a medical device that begins with an idea and a design, and then a prototype, and then goes to manufacturing and sales, and then into the hospital for patient care and patient use. Alright, so why do we need to regulate medical devices? What's the point? Why is that important to regulate medical device? This is unfortunately a question that is even raised by some professionals who in many countries do not have medical device regulatory bodies, and they just wonder why the need. Why do we have to do that? This chart over here shows the growth of granting patents over the years in US and Europe only. In US and Europe only. You can see over here 2011 between US, the blue is the US. This is, by the way, not the applications. These are the granted patents. The number of applications is like 6 or 7 times more, because in the US they only grant about, I think, 15 to 20% patents to the overall applicants. So in 2011 you have around 15,000 patents that were granted for medical devices. This number grew until 2015, and it's nearly 18,000. You can see that the total number between the United States and Europe is growing as we proceed in years. In 2015, more than 27,000 devices were given patents. Medical devices were granted patents. This data is from the US Patent Office website and the EPO European Patent Office website. Now these are the devices that were patented. 25,000 or 27,000 devices patented only in Europe and the States. We didn't include Japan, we didn't include South America, China. So you can imagine how many devices are being patented every year in all over the world. In addition, note that not everyone who comes up with a medical device idea tends to patent it. So we can easily say that the number of devices that are attempting to enter into the market is like closely to 60 to 70,000 devices per year. Now, aside from those who are trying to imitate and copy patents and try to just copy patents, steal patents, or do just anything they would like to do. They don't stick to the rules and regulations of designing these devices. So basically you can see that a huge number of devices are coming into the market every year. Now there are many concerns when it comes to the design of medical devices. Generally speaking, does it operate safely? Is it a safe device? Does it hurt a human being when it's used? Does it fail safely? If the device fails for one reason or another, is that going to be a problem? Is it going to cause, if the device fails, would people die? Or is it going to fail safely? Are there any biological effects for this device? Especially the invasive ones. If the device is used invasively, is it going to impact the human body? Is it gonna make any problems, infections? What about sterilization issues? Does it need to be sterilized? What method of sterilization should be used with this device? And if I use this sterilization, is it gonna change the biology and the physiology of this device? Would it change the physical characteristics of this device? Would the function and operation of this device change with the sterilization process? Does the operating impact the design? Does it have any sharp edges? What about the patient experience? Is it easy to use? Is it difficult to use? What about power requirements? Electrical safety, is it safe? Is it easy to use? The supply chain, all the parts that were used in this device, do you know where they came from? Do you have any idea or where it came from and how it functions and whether it's good quality or not good quality? Power isolation requirements, all of these are just general concerns about all these medical devices that are coming into the market. Now, notice that we haven't even spoken about the accuracy and effectiveness of operation. All these things are just general concerns that are addressing any medical device that you would like to manufacture or design or bring into the market. All of these things you have to put in mind when designing this device. Now, when it comes to device operation, does it do what it is claiming to do? Many people claim that their device diagnoses this, their device treats that, but does it actually does it? Is it accurate? Is it cost effective? Is it more expensive to have this device than to do something else? If it's a diagnostic device, what is the rate of false negative and what is the rate of false positive? Meaning, if you are, la samahallah, infected with a disease and you test this and through this device, the device tells you no, you're not affected. So you will go back home, sleep tightly, assuming that the device told you you're not affected, when in reality you are. Or it could happen the other way around. It could tell you that you are infected when you're not. So how often that happens in these devices? Measurement, is it a measurement device? Does it give you the right number? If it tells you that your blood glucose level is so much such and such, or your heart rate is such and such, or your plasma level is such and such, or your red blood cells count is such and such, are these numbers right? Are these correct? If it gives you your weight, is it correct? What are the calibration requirements? How do you calibrate this device? Any measurement device needs calibration frequently. If you use any measurement device, this has to be done. If you don't calibrate the device, after 5-6 months, whatever you read there is wrong. This is a standard thing people should know about measurement devices. Is there any radiation involved? How much is the dose that is this radiation? Are there any clear instructions to use? All these are concerns when it comes to operating the device. Some of them are device specific, but they are all valid concerns that people need to put in mind when designing a medical device. Now, the question comes is, what are the minimum requirements that address these concerns? What's the minimum accuracy you would expect? What is the minimum rate of false negative, which would be fine, or false positive, or how much error is fine? How much? What is the minimum? Who investigates? Okay, who makes sure that whatever requirements are there for these devices are met before this device comes to this operation? Imagine all these 50,000-60,000 devices are coming into this market randomly without anyone verifying or checking what's going on or how these devices are working. Luckily, there are many organizations that have came up with standards for medical devices that should help in this problem. One of the famous standard is the ISO14971 Medical Device Design Standard, which is a series of technical standards for safety and effectiveness of medical electrical equipment published by the International Electrotechnical Commission. It consists of general standards, general requirements for basic safety, and essential performance for medical devices. If you design a medical device, you have to ensure that it meets these standards. Some of the ISO14971 standards are particularly related to some devices like EEG machines, EECG machines, X-rays, electromagnetic compatibility, and so on. So of course, these are available on the website for IEC. Again, 60601. Medical device design standards. These are the minimum design requirements for any medical device to satisfy before it can be placed into the market. The IEC has technical committees that develop these standards. These technical committees are open to public, not public, of course, experts. People from all over the world sign up for these committees. Many of these committees are related to medical devices. They put, for example, they put a committee for ventilators. Experts from all over the world will get together and they will put an initial draft for the minimum standards of safety required for any ventilator. And experts from all over the world will put an input together through a certain mechanism, and a final document will be released based on the input. Saudi Arabia, for example, is a member of 9 IEC technical committees in medical devices specifically. And we have issued around 150 medical device specifications for the local market. The other standard, of course, is the famous ISO 9000 series quality management principles. It has about 8 principles in the ISO 9000. Customer focus, leadership, you must have a unity of vision, involvement of people, all people need to be involved in the process. The design, the quality assurance system in the manufacturing or the handling of devices is process approach, system management approach to system approach to management. There is continuous improvement, factual approach to decision making. You base your decisions based on facts, not based on hunches and personal feelings. And of course, supplier relationships, beneficial relationships with suppliers. So that's another standard of quality medical devices manufacturing and designs need to satisfy. The more comprehensive standard is the ISO 13485 Medical Device Quality Management System. It's of course, it's developed by the ISO organization, and it's the recent version is published in 2016, and it represents the requirements for a comprehensive quality management system for the design and manufacturing of medical devices. Any organization handling medical devices, whether it's a manufacturer, distributor, importer, authorized representative, must show the ability to have quality management system for medical devices that applies to importers, distributors, as I said, storage design, supply chain, many elements of this. I think it's a 40 or 45 page standard that all manufacturing and importers and distributors must satisfy. Of course, there is the ISO 14971 Risk Management System for medical devices. It's also another ISO standard that applies, that deals with the risk management to medical devices. It's established the risk requirements to determine the safety of a medical device by a manufacturer during the production life cycle and during when the device is in use. What are the risks that are the manufacturer needs to show that a risk assessment was done for this device once it's in use in the hospital or with a patient. What could happen? What risks are involved? What problems could take place? So this there is a system for this and a standard for that, which is ISO 14971. So generally speaking, these are the standards: ISO 4971 and the 13485 and the ISO 9000 series and the IEC 60601. There are other standards, but it's just to give you the idea. There are non-profit organizations with experts around the world that are developing these standards. And what happens is that a manufacturer, the question is, of course, who ensures that these devices are safe, and who ensures that the manufacturing and the design was done in accordance to these standards in general. So let's say that we have a medical device manufacturer is manufacturing medical devices, and it's claiming that it's applying the IEC standards and all the things I spoke about earlier. Who will ensure that this is really the case? The device is there are something called conformity assessment bodies. These conformity assessment bodies are large corporates that have branches all over the world filled with biomedical experts. These, what they do is that they go and audit factories of course, a third party. They have no relationship with the factories. So the factories will request a conformity assessment body to come and visit the factory and audit them to ensure that they are applying the IEC standards and the ISO standards in manufacturing. If the factory really does that and the auditing process verifies, the auditing process for a factory usually takes 4 or 5 days. They audit the processes, they audit the supply chain, they look over the storage facility, the production line, the employees, how they are functioning, the safety in the environment, the cleanliness, all. They ensure that all the standards that are listed for safe manufacturing are met. Once this is happening, the conformity assessment body gives a certificate to this manufacturer that your device is testified and audited and is safe for operations. So what regulatory affairs bodies do around the world is that they request manufacturers, before they can market their devices into the kingdom, that they give their audit reports and their conformity assessment body certificates for evaluation before they can market their devices in the kingdom. So there are many conformity assessment bodies around the world. This is a good career for biomedical engineers. You have BSI, UL, TUV Ryland, Cosmos Natural, SGS, plenty of them, about I think 49 conformity assessment bodies with expert engineers, biomedical engineers working in them to audit factories, study technical files for the devices. By the way, when the audit is done, there are 2 things to audit. First, you want to audit the processes through which the manufacturing is done, and then you would have to audit the technical documents that are associated with the device. You want to ensure that the design parameters were fine, nothing wrong in the design, and that there were clinical trials done properly to test the device to ensure that it is safe and that it is efficient, that it actually does what it claims for. This is all done in this auditing process. So a good level of skills and experience need to be present with these engineers to audit these devices. And these conformity assessment bodies have all type of engineers. You're talking technologies starting from a cotton, by the way, is a medical device. Eye drops are a medical device. MRI is a medical device. Lithotripsy is a medical device. So you need all the experts who can audit all these devices in general. So what regulatory bodies do, they identify each, like for Saudi Arabia, we choose a set of standards that we enforce on any medical device that comes into Saudi, and we ask the factories to give us the report of these conformity assessment bodies and the audit reports plus with technical documents for the products, so that we can evaluate them and ensure that these devices are safe before we allow them to enter into our market. So if you go to the life cycle of a medical device again, in this green the green part, the green box shows that we have covered the design, the prototyping, the clinical trials. All of this is done here through the manufacturer and the auditor and the regulatory affairs. Of course, all of this involves biomed engineers. You need biomed engineers to design, to do prototype, to do clinical trials. They can't do it alone. This is something biomed engineers need to understand, that you are a multidisciplinary program that works with people. You have to have others working with you, like physicians, doctors, IT personnel, and other specialties. And then we spoke about the regulatory bodies approvals. That is done through conformity assessment bodies that come and audit your factory and design for the devices based on the standards that were published previously. Warnings. Now, passing the audit of notified bodies and obtaining the regulatory body approval assures meeting the minimum safety requirements. Auditing bodies, they ensure that the device meets the minimum requirements for safety and operation and a little bit of efficacy. However, these are vendor independent. So many devices will meet the requirements. However, they might not be very efficient in delivering what they claim they do. The efficiency of these devices will vary from one to another. And this is the role of biomed engineers in hospitals. So the first line of defense is regulatory affairs auditors, biomedical engineers, who audit the manufacturing process and the design process to ensure that it is safe. Then the regulatory body engineers, they verify the auditing process that was done properly. And then the third level comes, which is the biomed engineers in hospitals and healthcare facilities. They need to ensure that the device is safe and they choose the right device for their operation. So all of this, of course, the many factories, by the way, now they have biomed engineers within the factory who are specialized in regulatory affairs to ensure that before an audit takes place, their factory is ready and is meeting the requirements for the medical device standards. Now, Saudi FDA, what do we do? Biomed engineers in our program. Just to the interest of time, I will just skim through quickly over what we do in general. Our objectives is to set up medical device regulatory scheme and implementing it, licensing procedures for manufacturers and suppliers, and we do surveillance and monitoring of the market and collaborate with other international bodies. Medical device. What is a medical device? Any instrument, apparatus, implant, machine, appliance, software, material, other similar related articles. As I said, a cotton is a medical device. Eye drops are a medical device. So from a cotton all the way to surgical tools to MRI, lithotripsy are all medical devices. Anything that can be used for diagnosis, prevention, monitoring, treatment, alleviation of pain, compensation of body organs, investigation, replacement, modifying or support of anatomy of a physiological process, sustaining life, all of these are considered medical devices. It's a very wide range of devices that we cover in our regulation. For us, we cover medical devices, IVDs, prescription eyeglasses, contacts, lenses, and even radiation emitting electronic products that include lasers and even radiology machines. We developed our interim regulations that are posted on our website. We tell people what is our standards, what are our minimum requirements to allow any medical device to enter into the kingdom, and we have a royal decree that helps us in enforcing it, where no manufacturer, no represented or no importer, distributor or healthcare facility can deal with medical devices before being licensed with us, from us. I will skim through some of these slides quickly so that I can give you the by the way, they are all available on our website, sfda.gov.sa. we have implementation rules that tell people how to implement our regulations and what they need to do, and some guidance documents. They are all on our website. Now, this is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This tells you what we do. This is a comprehensive story of Saudi FDA, of what we do, our daily work. And of course, it all requires biomed engineers at different levels and different levels of experience, as you're going to see in this slide. So this is Saudi Arabia. Saudi FDA is in the center. This is the lifespan of a device that begins from the left side with concept and design, manufacturing, packaging and labeling, importing, sale, use, and disposal. This is pre-market, and this is post-market, and this is something in the middle. Local manufacturers, local suppliers, healthcare facilities, everyone dealing with medical devices must register their names and their addresses and show their qualifications into our electronic database, and we have to license them to operate on medical devices. Any overseas manufacturer that is interested in sending devices or selling them in the kingdom must submit a request for us, asking us that I'm bringing a device into the kingdom. We first classify it. Is it a medical device or not a medical device? What is the intended purpose of use? If it's a medical device, then it falls into our regulation. So then this factory must register into our system and must assign a legal representative for that factory in the kingdom. And this legal manufacturer, authorized representative, plus local manufacturers as well, they must submit technical documents for each product that they would like to bring into the kingdom, into our what we call MIDMA, Medical Device Market Authorization System. These technical files are audited and tested If proven okay and all the standards are met and the device we feel that it is safe, we give them a medical device market authorization in the kingdom. This stays with the factory. The factory now has a licensed product to be marketed in the kingdom. This factory then sends it through an importer or a distributor. Any importer that would like to bring a device from an overseas manufacturer, we go and audit them. We visit their site. We ensure that they have a quality assurance system. They have proper storage area. They have qualified personnel to deal with this device. So they have to be registered with us and licensed with us to work. The factory then the importer will request the device that obtained market authorization to be coming into the kingdom. This is the medical device clearance system. So they will tell us in advance that the device is coming through the clearance customs. So we anticipate it and expect it to come. Once it arrives at the port of entries, we have people working at the port of entries in Saudi Arabia. All of this is done by biomed engineers and specialists, by the way. We verify that the device has market authorization and that there is a legal representative and that it is listed and that it's technically safe to work. And once it's cleared from the port of entries, we record that it has entered into the country and it goes to the hospitals and for beginning of operations. Now we have another system. We have another route for research centers that doesn't require research centers and single-use personal use devices that don't need to go through all this process. That's done through another system. However, once the device is in the market, we have the National Center for Medical Device Recalls, where everyone, any citizen, any resident, any healthcare provider worker, or local manufacturer, or overseas manufacturer can report any adverse event taking place with any device while being in use. If you see any problems in the device, you report it through the system. We will send an investigation team to go and test and verify whether what happened, what are the causes. If the adverse event was because of a design failure, then we issue a local alert and we follow up with all the local hospitals to ensure that they remove the device from service or they do the corrective action that is needed. And this recall system also monitors the recalls that are coming internationally, worldwide, from 14 databases. And if there is a device that is affected with a recall, we check whether this device is in the kingdom. If it's in the kingdom, we track it again and we ensure that the distributor and the authorized representative in the kingdom are doing the corrective action. By the way, many times we issue alerts that go worldwide and become international alerts that are publicized, and the first line says based on observations coming from Saudi Arabia. This is what we do in Saudi FDA. All of this is mostly done by biomed engineers. You can see that a good level of skills is required for achieving all these tasks and doing them effectively without any problems. All our regulations and our implementation rules are available on our website, sfda.gov.sa. I hope that the presentation was fruitful and it had added some knowledge to your background, and it gave an insight over the careers for biomedical engineers in general. Again, if you have any questions, please email me, talk to me over Twitter and Uthmani. Google me. You can find me, Nazih Al-Uthmani from Google. Thank you again for having me, and I apologize if I took longer than what I should have. And I look forward for your questions and comments. Thank you very much again, and my apologies for not being able to be with you. I was looking forward for the program, and all best of luck for the organizers of this activity, and especially in the poster sessions.